imagine this must be very difficult for a lot of members of staff who have not only lost their jobs, but also have presumably expressed in interview with yourselves that they may feel that they could have done something, that they should have raised these concerns much sooner.
That's right, and in fact support groups were offered to the staff because we were aware that many of them would be very upset about what had happened and may well have blamed themselves for what happened. So we have attempted to put in the support for those staff, and I think many of them are still very shocked about what happened. They had trust in Vanessa George and couldn't believe that she would have done what she did.
Just a question possibly for the police officer. Are we any further forward, or realistically ever likely to be further forward, with finally being able to identify the children that were the victims in this case?
I understand the reason why you asked the question. Obviously the focus of today is around the governance and inspection regime, policy and procedures. What I will say is we do not have sufficient information to establish the identity of the victims. It's been one of the most complex elements of our investigation, the partnerships investigation. However, the probation and prison services are obviously in regular contact with Vanessa George, and should any information come to light, then we will pursue that.
Just on whistleblowing, because whistleblowing comes up an awful lot in serious case reviews, doesn't it? These things could have been stopped or flagged up earlier. If you are a member of staff today in a preschool who has some concerns but are worried about raising them for all sorts of very obvious reasons like the safety of your job, what would you say to that individual?
It goes back to my previous point about the vigilance and the need for people to challenge. I would say to that member of staff, if you are not getting the response that you need from your management, then you need to go to other authorities and actually say, I'm not happy with what's going on here. Safeguarding is everybody's business, not just people working in children's services, but right across the community. And I would urge them, if they're not getting the response, as I say, from their management, they need to go to other authorities, such as the local authority or safeguarding authorities.
But do you accept that it's not always that easy, is it? Just to flag these things up and to take it to the next level. People don't always listen.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we really need to take forward the learning from this, and the key point of the learning is that need to refer, and it doesn't matter which agency it comes to, we need that information. And there's a question of conscience of, I understand the dilemma, but what if that phone call's not made and this transpires? It has to be balanced, I understand that, but we will make the appropriate professional judgments on every referral that's made to us.
Further, I think the report emphasises that aspect of culture. We all need to be open to the possibility of abuse and be prepared to raise our concerns where we are concerned.
But in an ideal world, we'd all put that down on a piece of paper and say we all need to be open, but the world doesn't work like that, does it?
That's precisely why you've heard the comments already regarding the need for staff support and supervision that enables staff to take that bold step and air their concern in a more private space if they feel unable to do that in a public way.
Jane Atwell from Radio Plymouth. What are the practical steps that can be taken now to improve things like staff training and the recruitment policy so that staff do feel comfortable to speak out if they see behaviour that is unacceptable that they're worried about?
One of our key roles as a safeguarding board is that undertaking the serious case review, precisely why we're here today, and to draw the learning and use that to inform our training. And we have a quite extensive training programme here in Plymouth that's open to all agencies partaking and covers the different levels of training regarding the intensity of input, if you like, that you have with children, so different levels matching different skill sets. And there's been a significant uptake in our training, and indeed, as part of our funding as agencies, we have invested, I think, significantly in ensuring that there is an extensive training programme. I believe over 95% of earlier settings are participating in that training now.
Has that training changed since this incident?
The training is continually taking on learning and being adapted all the time. Indeed, there's a dedicated training manager who draws on the best learning, not just from this serious case review, but indeed other serious case reviews and best practice around the country, such that the training programme is continually improved.